Learning and development in most organisations is boring. Let's face it, it's a snooze fest, and most people see it as a chore that they have to do rather than something that they want to do. So in this video, I want to share with you an idea that could turn it all around and share how we can take inspiration from a progressive school and use it to create a progressive workplace. In this video, I'm going to talk about the Learning Mosaic from Lumiar Schools and how this innovative approach can not only transform education, but also how we learn at work. Hi, I'm Lizzie, a company culture coach based here in the UK. And over the past 7 years, I've supported startups and small businesses to create unique company cultures. As part of my work, I've witnessed firsthand how learning and development programs keep falling short of enabling people to reach their potential. And it saddens me because I love learning. In fact, the other day, someone called me a professional learner because I keep taking so many courses. But do you know what? I'm taking that title because I do love learning. And a long time ago when I was at school, I hated learning. Or I thought I hated learning, when the reality was I hated school. But anyway, the problem with existing learning and development programs is that we've taken this school-style learning approach and then replicated it in our organisations and wondered why nobody wants to take part. Most organisational learning still clings to linear pathways, training modules designed around hierarchies of knowledge, management ladders, and one-size-fits-all assessments. So what if, instead, rather than looking to outdated schooling and learning systems, we looked at more progressive educational systems and took our inspiration from there? This is where Lumiar's Learning Mosaic enters the stage. The Learning Mosaic is a digital curriculum developed by Lumiar Schools, which includes the Brazilian curriculum and other educational pillars. The 600 tiles of the mosaic represent topics, skills, and competencies that the school want to introduce the children to by the time they're 17. The curriculum is not standardized or linear, it is completely customized to each learner. Hence the word mosaic, because everyone's mosaic will look different. To get a grasp of the innovation behind the Learning Mosaic, you really have to understand its origin and purpose. Lumiar, the school that developed the Learning Mosaic, is a progressive school founded in Brazil by Ricardo Semler and Eduardo Chaves more than 20 years ago. And it was deeply inspired by the work of Brazilian educator Paulo Freire. And yes, that's the same Ricardo Semler who took over his father's business back in the 1980s and radically transformed it to be a self-managing organisation. Ricardo wanted to take the inspiration he'd learned from that experience and think about how we can make education better. There are currently 12 Lumiar schools which can be found all over the world, and there's even one here in the UK, and they've been recognised for their progressive approach to education by Stanford University and even Microsoft. So how can we apply the Learning Mosaic into our organisations? While the Learning Mosaic was developed for a school setting, there is a vast amount that we can learn and apply to learning and development programmes in our organisations. Here's a few ways that we can start to take inspiration from it. The first is being a co-creator of our learning experience. The students at Lumiar Schools shape their Learning Mosaic. They decide what they want to learn first. And while all of those 600 tiles will need to be touched by the time they're 17, they get to choose their pathway. This is so different from what we see in organisations, where it's still a very top-down approach. It's not co-created with people. Learning and development is still done to people. The Learning Mosaic views learners as co-creators of their learning journey. So rather than being told what to learn and when to learn it, they co-construct a journey that is aligned with their needs, the team needs, and the evolving demands of the world around them. Like a real mosaic, the Learning Mosaic is never static. With so many skills, competencies, and topics, you can really map the learning landscape that is available within the organisation, being able to connect with peers who are also learning the same thing as you, as well as discovering different areas of interest. You can also start to identify gaps so much more clearly. Rather than just predicting what you think might not be there, you can visualize what is actually there and what might be missing. It isn't just a learning opportunity for the individual, this is a growth and learning opportunity for the entire organization. The third way the Learning Mosaic can really be adapted into organizations is by seeking and identifying experts. Imagine when you have a real understanding of everyone's topics, skills, and competencies, and how you can create mentoring, collaboration, peer-to-peer learning. So we're not just always relying on external factors to do the learning and development. We can really harvest and see what's already in the organization to bring about more learning and development. If you're sat there wondering if this is even possible, how can we take this learning mosaic and adapt it into organizations, then I want to share with you a real life case study and the person and company who actually inspired this very video. One organisation who has already been inspired by the Learning Mosaic and adapted it into their learning and development is PTHR, founded by Perry Timms. Through a visual mosaic, PTHR has mapped all of the practice fields, skills, competencies, and specialist areas of how they work, what they do, and the world of work. The idea of the Learning Mosaic is that the team have a visual landscape of the emerging learning and development needs of working at PTHR. And people are adding to it constantly, showing the agility and emergence of adding new skills and capabilities into the organisation. A key aspect of the Learning Mosaic is the empowerment of individuals. People are no longer just recipients of information, but active contributors to the learning process. They have autonomy to seek out new learning opportunities, contribute their own knowledge, and apply what's been learned in meaningful ways. So this does all sound really great. And there's a reason why this is working, not only just in Lumiar Schools, but also in organizations like PTHR. And it's because all of the data is pointing in this direction. Self-directed learning, when we own our learning journey, we have a much better experience of learning and we are able to absorb information much better and grow better than when we have this authoritarian educational environment. In one sense, the Learning Mosaic is not just a curriculum. It's actually a mindset that people are curious and creative. And when we create an environment that helps them actively shape their learning journey, we're going to have a better experience with learning and development than when they're told what to do. So will the Learning Mosaic be your next culture experiment? As always, I will caveat this video with the reminder that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to anything. It is very easy to watch videos or be told about frameworks and models and believe that that is the one approach that you need to do. What I'm trying to do with this channel, with the things that I share, is simply open your mind as to the possibilities of what is out there and the reason things work. I'll share a video soon of how I personally have also adapted the Learning Mosaic for my own personal and professional development. So if you've enjoyed this video and want to learn more, don't forget to subscribe to be notified of when that video goes live. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, folks.